All right, we're here on Radio Row, joined by Shawne Merriman. How you doing today, Shawne?
I'm doing well, man. What's up?
I'm doing good. So, lights out. Three-time Pro Bowler with San Diego and Buffalo. Got to see your teams in the playoffs this year. Unfortunately, they didn't make it. What's stopping these teams from, surpassing Kansas City?
Well, for one, this year before the season started, it was looked at as the toughest division, right? We didn't know what the Broncos were going to be or how Russell Wilson's going to be, but we know every year that what Patrick Mahomes is going to be. And so I used the analogy or the same difference. Like back when I was playing, we knew we had to go through Tom Brady in order to get it. So when people ask me, say, hey, you guys didn't win a Super Bowl. Well, if you got to go through Tom Brady, Peyton Manning first, and then Tom Brady every year to get a Super Bowl ring, then it's going to be hard. So I think the Chargers are going to be up against that with Patrick Mahomes in the division for some years.
Yeah, that's the Tom Brady thing. That was for over 2 decades. Multiple generations of football people, players had to go through Brady. I mean, Patrick Mahomes in his 5th year as a starter has been, 5 championship games, 3 Super Bowls. It's insane to see somebody do that.
Yeah.
So,
real quick.
A couple of things.
You got me? All right, Shawne, you mentioned Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. People kind of compare the Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes as the new combo, if you will. Do you agree with that assessment, having had to deal with that other comparison that was, Manning and Brady? Do you agree with that comp a little bit?
Yeah, you know what? You couldn't make a better comparison. I think that is exactly what it's going to be for the next 10 years. And, some of the years when we went to go play the Colts, when they were they had almost undefeated years. I think one year they actually did go undefeated, right, or close to it. And so we played them at the peak, and we beat them, and then you move on to Tom Brady. I mean, it's going to be the same situation when, you got to get through Josh Allen, or you got to get through Burrow. Then you got to get through, and then at some point in time, Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, he's going to get better too. So think about that. I mean, you're going to have to deal with Trevor Lawrence and that scrappy Jaguars team to get through them first. Then you move on to Josh Allen. Oh, by the way, you got to finish the show with Patrick Mahomes. It's one of those things that you got to figure it out over this next decade to go out and win a championship.
So, Shawne, I mean, one of the things that I've heard that you do, and we have Jon Shearer not on camera right now. He's covered in Is Your Coat Tribe.
Yeah,
and you do that yearly. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do with that?
Yeah, I grew up in Prince George's County, Maryland, and we grew up rough, and we were homeless a couple different times. Lived in shelters, living back in the cars with my mom and my sister. And I just remember one day it was so cold outside. It was like the blizzard of '96. It was like 95, 96 blizzard. And me and my sister, we had 2 sweatshirts on. We had socks in our hands, and because we couldn't afford coats and we couldn't afford gloves. I said, man, this really sucks. And so I said, man, if I could ever be in a position where I do something where kids or families don't have to feel like I felt that day, then I would. And so at my freshman year at the University of Maryland, I said, I'm just going to have to start this coat drive. And so if we get 100 coats, great. That's 100 people that's warmer this winter. And the first time out, we had 2,500. We collected 2,500 coats, and I said, okay, this needs to happen. So I just finished up my 20th year anniversary for the Winter Coat Drive. We collected over 38,000 coats, and it is one of the biggest coat drives ever on the East Coast, still running. And I'm hoping that thing will be around a lot longer than I will.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's one of the things when Jon had told me, I was very glad to hear. We love people that give back. It's so important. Now, I mean, you were an NFL player. The NFL is the most popular sport right now in America, but you're creating an MMA league. So MMA right now is up and coming. I would say, it may even be close to surpassing baseball in popularity. Everyone I know loves MMA. So what got you into MMA? And tell us about what you're working on.
Yeah, so I own Lights Out Extreme Fighting, mixed martial arts promotion and league. I started actually training between 2005 and 2006 during the off season, and I just wanted to get better on my hand-eye coordination. I wanted to be a better pass rusher. I didn't know I was going to fall in love with the sport as I did. I mean, my first day walking into an MMA gym, Randy Couture was right there. I was learning from Randy Couture, one of the best that ever do it. In 2018, I launched Lights Out Extreme Fighting. Now we're on Fubo Sports, Fubo TV. So if you guys don't have Fubo, get it. We just moved into the top 10 most watched all time ever.
Nice.
A couple weeks ago for our big event we had at Riverside. So now we got a big fight coming up in April that we're going to announce the card next week. It'll be live on Fubo Sports, Fubo TV again. So it's fun for me, man, because you go from playing football, you've been in the locker room, being around all the guys, competing every day, you're getting after it. And so now, I see these young, men and women in their early 20s, they're talking crap, they're getting after each other, they like to compete all the time. And so for me, it's like me being back in the locker room again. It's just that, I'm the one that's writing the checks and contracts now. So, but it's been great for me.
I love seeing that when an athlete retires and transitions into something that they're passionate about and then make it into something big. And congratulations on that.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That's awesome. And, anytime with the Coach Drive, contact us. We're more than happy to promote it and help you out any way we can. I know our guy Steve is in the DMV as well for the SGC Foundation. I'm sure he'd be more than happy to help promote it for you. Anyway, we can help. It was a pleasure having you on today.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
If you can get up, we'll see you guys in just a few moments.
All right. Hold on.